Hey everybody, it's Bust with Busted Strategies number 46. Jumping back into Premier Midnight Hunt Draft. Got those words right this time, go me. Right after the reset, the first one of the new month. So we've fallen from Mythic down into Platinum 4. So let's see if we can't climb back up there quickly. So yeah, I mean, I would like to see how we can finish off this month. Like the first month, we got ourselves into Diamond. The second month, we were able to jump into Mythic. Didn't quite finish with a ranked finish. And I'd like to see if we can't finish with a ranked one this month. It'd be a little. I'd feel a little more confident about it if Crimson Vow wasn't going to come out towards the end of the month. So it's kind of like the last 10 days or so of November are going to be covered with Crimson Vow, and I'm not particularly good at limited formats the first week or so. It takes me a bit of time to kind of uh, piece together the various strategies, and so I'm not real confident that this would be the best month to really run for it, but we'll certainly try. we'll certainly give it a go. All right, here we go. Took us like 4 Qs to get through the thing, but we finally got ourselves in a draft. So, okay, let's take a peek at what lives here. So you can take a quick look at it. There's no removal spells to begin with. There's no real bomb cards going about this, so we'll probably just have to go with whatever the best card in the pack is. And so that's going to lean me towards an Organ Hoarder. Otherwise, I'm not really amped up about too many cards in this pack. Like the Pit Fighter is uh, fine. I'm very whelmed by the Falconwrath Pit Fighter. Just the 1 health units don't play particularly well in this format, and so Organ Hoarder should far and away be the strongest card here. Wouldn't be surprised if we tabled something red, if like Brimstone Vandal, Neonate's Rush came back. Wouldn't really surprise me, but there's nothing I'm really anticipating looking to build around with these cards. Maybe we'll get lucky and hit like a Defend the Celestis or something, but don't think we'll be getting any help in pick 9 with that pack. So another reasonably interesting set. There's no good black cards. The white cards are fairly meh. Like the Bereaved Survivor doesn't really pair well with the blue card. It wants to be paired up with like something black generally, so you can sacrifice and kind of flip at will. And so I'm really here just looking at 3 cards. There's the Phantom Carriage, there's the Gale Drifter, and there's the Shadow Beast Sighting. And this is a little bit earlier than I like to draft Shadow Beast Sightings. I prefer to be taking these like pick 5, pick 6, pick 7 when kind of get a good indicator that green is open. And we're not quite there yet. So I'm just going to go with the Gale Drifter. This with the plays reasonably well with the Organ Hoarder, and it's kind of at least a little bit of synergy for our early picks here. Okay. So here's a set of cards. Here's some good ones. And so there's been a rare and a common taken out of this pack. The common I would suspect would be like a black removal spell. People won't take Midnight Lightning Bolts this early, and it's like, what else are you going to take over Gavany Dawnguard or a Hound Tamer in common? Like maybe an Organ Hoarder, but likely something like an Eaten Alive is what I would suspect would be taken over those. And so a little less incentive to draft black, in my opinion. But I'm just going to go with the Gavany Dawnguard here. There's no blue cards that we want. I would rather be in blue-white than blue-green if possible. We aren't really aligning ourselves to be a blue-green deck, but it's something to consider if, say, like Eccentric Farmer tables. I don't think he'll end up tabling. We're going to see cards like Pax Betrayal, Candle Trap, Locked in the Cemetery, Silverbolts is kind of like the last 4 cards, maybe Tireless Hauler. But we've got to kind of keep that in our head. It looks like the things that could potentially wheel would likely be green instead of red. Here, easy enough Bait Hook Angler. This is going to be our second Disturb card in blue, and so we're very heavily pushing towards blue-white here. But if we fall back to blue-green, then these Disturb cards are reasonable there as well. Also feels like we're getting a pretty good cut onto blue. So hopefully a lot of reasonable blue cards will be coming along in the second pack. Okay, another Bait Hook Angler. I think objectively the strongest card in this pack is going to be Broodweaver, but it's not something I'm really wanting to push into green for. A very easy Bait Hook Angler here, in my opinion. Okay, and so wow, interesting. That is a very late Eaten Alive. It's what I'm going to look to take here. I'm just like not a fan of Candle Trap whatsoever, and you know we only have the one white card, and so if we end up in blue-black, this is fine. It also plays reasonably well with the likes of bait hook anglers. We would of course rather be sacrificing off zombie tokens, but the angler is a reasonable sacrifice target. Very late Eaten Alive. Okay, well, things are kind of dwindling down here. I'm going to go with the Evolving Wilds in this pack. If we ever want to play a third color, it's going to be kind of pivotal in doing so, especially if we can pick up like another Jack-o'-lantern or something along the way. Otherwise, I haven't seen like any real good indicator that we're going to be drafting red, so I'm not that interested in the Brimstone Vandal. And then otherwise, there's just not really anything going on in this pack. There is a Silver Bolt, but that is, you know, kind of like blue-white's only access to removal, but I'm just not very impressed with it anymore these days. Wow, if you want an indicator of red being open, there is the Moonrager Slash, and this kind of sucks, right? We've seen like a bunch of Stolen Vitalities rolling around, but we haven't seen any Festival Crashers, and so I'm not really convinced that blue-red is going to be a thing here, but with an 8th pick Moonrager Slash, we have to assume that red is open at this point coming from the right, and so we're going to try and take advantage of that if we can. So this is close, I think, between the Brimstone Vandal and the Neonate's Rush. I'm going to go with the Brimstone Vandal. I think it just plays better in a lot more decks. We don't really have the Vampire package to cheapen up the Neonate's Rush, although you'll often play it even without it. I think the Vandal is fine here. The Stolen Vitality is good. If you cut our previous video, we drafted the Festival Crashers deck there. And this is one of the key cards to closing out games, whether or not you're doing it with Festival Crashers, with the Werewolf, or with the blue-red dragon thing. All of the prowess kind of units really like a Stolen Vitality. Okay, interesting. Wow, and the eccentric farmer tabled. I don't think we can go that route. I'm just gonna look at the Cathar Commando here. When it comes down to it, I kind of think the Gavany Dawnguard Cathar Commando are just better than the Moonrager Slash and these other cards. But I like that we have picked up these red cards just in the event that you know, oh, this red is just so open. But just in the event that like we see something in pack 2 that makes us want to kind of go in that route. All right, well, there's a Thermo Alchemist. We're in. We're just gonna be in on blue red again. I mean, there is a Sun Gold Sentinel, which is quite powerful, but I just don't feel like we've seen enough of kind of like the blue white themes. Like this is how I really like to end up in white. When we have like, you know, a Gavany Dawnguard and a Sun Gold Sentinel, then it just kind of makes the middle packs, like when your Candlegrove Coven show up at like pick 5, makes them a lot easier to take, but the Thermo Alchemist is just so super strong, and it feels like red is really open here. I'm just going to dive in. So now the big thing with this is like hopefully we can table like a Consider. I really think these like opening packs are quite important as you're trying to see like Festival Crashers and Stolen Vitalities and Brimstone Vandals. Just like really good things to table, and Consider is not like really good things to table, and so I do worry about the strength of a card like that. Now that we see this one, we're gonna have to be interested in this Sunrise Cavalier. I'm not opposed to actually switching into red-white. We aren't like married to blue at this point. The only blue card we're really excited about is the Organ Hoarder, and I think I might actually be okay with jumping over into Boros. Now, the place where this pack gets scary is if we're trying to table the Sunrise Cavalier, right? And it is an uncommon. People like to just go out there and snatch up uncommons, and so it may not table. But I think here, like, we would just be taking a Brimstone Vandal anyways, and so I'm just going to go ahead and snatch it up. I don't think we're missing out on too much by picking that one up here. Okay, and then blue does not seem to be open from our left. It could have just been a weird set of opens for us, but I think we're fine to just pick up Candlegrove, which I was expecting more blue. It seemed like we cut it pretty hard in the first pack. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take out the Eaten Alive. I'm going to move these blue cards over to a separate pile. It's not quite happening with them just yet. Vitalities and the slash. Okay. Not a bad start for a Boros deck. We got a lot of raw power in the white cards. We have the Moonrager Slash and the Alchemist. Looks pretty decent. We'll be looking to pick up a the white flashback card that puts +1/+1 counters on things. That work quite well with the likes of our Thermo Alchemist. We'll just have to kind of wait and see what turns out there. So, reasonable set of white cards. I wanted to pull up and see if we had any combos with the Loyal Griff. It doesn't look like we do. We're just kind of limited to picking off our opponent's enchantments or something with it. And so I'm not like amped about it. It's not looking super strong here. I'm leaning more towards something like the Gavany Silversmith, but I think we probably just want the Candlegrove Witch here. Ultimately the most powerful aggressive unit that we could pick up out of this pack. Hopefully something like that Gavany Trapper will end up tabling here. Oh, you ready, bud? You ready to come on and help? Yeah. All right. Got my buddy here to help us draft Boros. And so let's see. With this one, I'm just going to come in and take the Abandon the Post. I really like having one copy of Abandon the Post in a lot of these decks, and there's not anything in that pack that we're really missing out on. That's right, bud. I'll give you them scratches. Yeah, it's coming together reasonably well. Nice little aggressive Boros number that we're piecing together here. All right, well, I think we're stuck with the likes of another Brimstone Vandal. I prefer to be getting things that are a little bit more aggressive, but there's not a lot going on in this pack. Like Village Watch is just a little bit too expensive to be very good. Don't want the Unruly Mob. And then I think the Vandal's just better than the Ritual Guardian. This Menace ability is quite important. Like if we're on the play and we're getting these good curves with like Cathar Commando into Brimstone Vandal, it promotes a lot of very good combats for us. But all right, I'm just going to go with the Tavern Ruffian here. I haven't talked about it in this one, but what we see a lot with these Boros decks is you need to kind of like take advantage of the day-night ability. So we're going to find turns to where, you know, we want to flip it to night, so we deal a point of damage with the Brimstone Vandal. And the Werewolves are very good in this kind of thing. And then the other thing, we're really looking for kind of like damage spells so that we can not have to like just not spend any mana on our turn to flip it to night and then go into our opponent's turn and then just not have anything to do. We haven't seen anything to really, you know, take us out of that. We could look towards the Silver Bolts here. I don't really want to play it, but we're not going to play 3 Brimstone Vandals. So I think this is okay. Did we even take it? Okay, we took it. Jeez. I thought it didn't take it. And this has been so many Rite of Oblivions running around. I don't think like the white black deck has been here, but there's been a crazy number of those going around. More Brimstone Vandals. We'll just play like 4 of them. But the Famished Foragers fills in a lot of holes as far as those things go as well. If we're trying to flip it from night to day, it's a very easy card to help us in that sense. Oh, beautiful, the Trapper tabled. All right. So let's see how we can finish this off. So I'm looking at the Spellrune Painter here. We aren't in, like, the Festival Crashers deck, though. We haven't seen a single Crasher. The Stolen Vitalities have been going around, but we don't have the tools to really go for it. But I still think it's probably just the best card here. And then we can hopefully table like a Voldaren Stinger. We don't need any more Stolen Vitalities, but hopefully the Stinger will table out of this one. Just a very weak open across the board. Okay. So here, I mean, if we could table another white card out of this, I would be happy with any of these 3. So we're looking to just pick up the Fangblade Brigand. This is one of the kind of premier late game plays that we could end up with in this deck. And then if any of these 3 cards come back between the Silversmith, the Trapper, and the Search Party Captain, they'll be welcome additions to our deck. Yeah, slightly different from our last adventure into Boros as to where the last Boros draft, I think it was like 2 videos ago, we ended up with like 3 Sunrise Cavaliers and the Gavany Dawn Guard had a really nice Boros number, but all of those cards haven't quite been showing up here. Here's Rim. He's not going to be like ridiculous in this deck, we only have the one damage-based spell at this point. But he's still, I think he's going to be better than Burn the Accursed. His ability is quite relevant. It's not so much the damage coming to him, but the 2/3 Flying Haste is a good deal. And then the perhaps dealing an extra point of damage or two would be nice. It is with a spell. I had to double check and see if it was a spell or ability, to see if it would do bonus damage on our Brimstone Vandals. Not the case. Okay, Lunar Frenzy, very easy take here. Great game closer. Also, it gives trample, which is quite important for the likes of a Spell Rune Painter combo kill. Our first Homestead Courage, it's not like super impressive in this deck, but it is very good at switching us from night to day. It works with the Alchemist, it works with the Spell Rune Painters. It's all around a reasonably powerful card. Like to have one copy. We're not going to play the Elementist or the Ruffian, I don't think. Lunar Frenzy number 2. All right, and so yeah, I mean, like the big thing with Lunar Frenzy is that it's good early and good late. Like there's a lot of times in the early game where we just want to spend a red mana to give something first strike, gets a kill that way, and then if it gets the late game kill with the just as a big X spell, pretty nice in those terms as well. So yeah, I mean we've got a reasonable deck here. I was hoping that we would get more burn as we show the Moonrager slash here. We can't play Flame Channeler in this deck. We only have one burn spell, but then we need some more early game plays. And so I'm hoping maybe we'll get another burn spell in this next pack, and then hopefully we can table some of those Falcon Wrath vampires, the 1-cost vampires. What I would like to table here. All right, not playing any of these cards. Immolation won't make the cut. Here's the Voldaren Stinger. Nice. Don't need any more Stolen Vitalities. Probably won't play the ones that we have, given that we picked up those 2 Lunar Frenzies. We might play one, because we just don't have that many spells going on in this deck, but reasonable enough. Okay, and then I think I would rather just have the Party Captain as opposed to a second Gavany Trapper. I do like the card draw that he offers us. Not going to play either the Famished Foragers or the Ruffian. We'll go ahead and snatch one up. Oh, beautiful. The Stinger tabled. The Ruffian. And last pick, Duress. All right, all right. Not a bad collection of cards. Let's see what we can do here. I don't think there's anything in the sideboard we want. There's just an Organ Hoarder. I thought we managed that pretty well. Yeah, it's the Famished Foragers in the sideboard, so that's fine. Let's see. We're up to 22 creatures at this point, so we need to cut out like 7 of them. And then I think we'll be looking good. Let's see. T:/CR in the filter. So let's see. Yeah, so as far as these go, the 1s and the 2s, they're all going to stay. I'm looking to take out some of this expensive stuff. The 2 Tavern Ruffians are probably going to be cut. I could see hanging on to 1, though. We'll kind of swing back to that. I do kind of like this vampire-y Nightfall theme that we have going on here. And so it's kind of making me want to hang on to the Silver Bolts. It's like I just want to have like something to do to where we can pass a turn and then do something on our opponent's turn. And so the things that like really lend ourselves to doing that would be like Gavany Trapper, the Famished Foragers, kind of to a degree. Then we have the Silver Bolt and the 2 Moonrager Slashes. And so it's not like a big collection of cards to let us do that, but it's certainly something. So kind of curious, like we have to, it's like if we even want to set it to night, we have to use the Vandal, the Gavany Dawnguard, or the Sunrise Cavalier. So it gets a little bit awkward in those terms. I think we could take out like the 2 Infiltrators. We just have to be taking out this expensive stuff. I think I want to take out the Forager. I think the Ruffian is probably, well, I would say he's typically just worse than the Trample 3-cost unit, like the 3-cost that flips to a 4/4 trample, but we have 4 ways to give out trample in this deck, so I'm kind of leaning towards having the big boy here. Where are we at? 19 creatures. So we're looking to have to cut like 4 creatures and 1 spell. I think a Stolen Vitality is probably a pretty easy cut. I want to keep like a certain amount of top end here. I think these can all stay. Let's cut out the Infiltrators. Cut out one Brimstone Vandal. Looking towards like a Stinger. Like kind of the big problem we have here is we don't have a lot of three attack units to send our Candle Grove Witches to the air. A little bit awkward. Okay, I'll cut out one more Brimstone Vandal. I don't think we can cut any more of those. Maybe we just cut one Voldaren Stinger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It really cuts us low. I'm afraid, well, maybe we could cut the Tavern Ruffian. I just worry about us having enough top end to actually close out the game. The party captain doesn't really do that. So it's like I kind of want to keep these two big boys and then the Spellrune Painter. All right. Could also see just cutting out a Silver Bolt. I don't think we're going to get tons of value out of that thing. Okay. I'm on board. So it's a little bit less interactivity on our opponent's turn than I would like, but I think we're fine. Okay. Good deal. Let's get to battle. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think we ended up in a fine space here. It's certainly not the most powerful of decks we've drafted, but I think we successfully got away from blue. I was hoping that we would have just ended up in the blue-white disturb there, but I think we got ourselves into a reasonable spot here. It seemed pretty apparent that red was open. The only black treats that we saw running around were those the white-black flashback removal spell. So I think that turned out fine. All right, well, you want to go all in on a Spellrune Painter? that's what this hand does. This is just all in. Maybe we'll pick up another unit here in the early game and be able to do something with that. Alright, then I don't want to count on our opponent to just like not have a unit next turn. And so let's make our aggressive play here with the Sunrise Cavalier. Uh-oh, he's highlighting our unit. Okay. Let's see what you can do, Spellrune Painter. How do we feel about this? It's like I would really like to just send it to Knight. The downside here is we don't have the mana to like double up on the Homestead Courage. Should be pretty obvious we have a trick here. Okay. And we'll have to be a little less greedy from this point forward with our Lunar Frenzy, but just kind of need like something to do here. We might be able to switch this into like kind of like tempo damages if we switch to using Moonrager slashes, but it's had the answer. That's not good. That's not good whatsoever. Need a bro. Uh-oh. He's gonna have the removal for our dudes again. That's not good. I assume he'll pick up the Burn the Accursed and not the Moonrager Slash. Yep. Okay. Interesting collection of cards. Voldaire and Stinger is kind of scary at this point. He has 1,000,000 mana, so I don't feel that bad going ahead and taking it down. Get some of this chunk damage in. I mean, it feels like he doesn't really want to be burn the accursing our Lambolt Harrier, but we've got a lot of reach here between the Moonrager Slash and the Homestead Courage. See if this draws out the burn the accursed. Does not. Okay. I don't feel like we can just run out the brigand and potentially win this game. I think we need another unit to kind of bait with here. Okay. Painful. I was looking to say like play the brigand and then be able to put a +1/+1 on it, but it's just gonna die. Trying to see if we have a way to draw a card with the Dawn Guard. We don't. We're just gonna have to. Like we could Lunar Frenzy it, but that just doesn't seem worth it. If I could put the +1/+1 counter on it with the Courage, I would, but. Okay. Takes this to 6. Getting a little low. Gotta worry about getting burned out from this point. All right. I mean, it's got a flare faith. You got a flare faith. We gotta just have something go right. It's just like if you're really splashing flare faith in your black red control deck, then you got us. Here's as though he was not expecting this block. a lot of thought going into this block here. He's got a Lunar Frenzy. Yeah, we don't have to do this. We can just give our unit the first strike. Uh-oh, he's eyeballing his graveyard. That's not good. Okay. No way to come back from this. He just plays the unit, gets a spell back, he can kill whatever unit we draw. Ooh. Be interesting to see how salty we are tomorrow. Well, you all know you'll have the insider knowledge on whether or not the Chiefs have won. By the time this video comes out, the Chiefs game will be over. If we lose to the Giants, it's going to be a bit of a sad day. I still expect a Chiefs recovery this season. I think we're going to to make the playoffs, and everything's going to be okay. I think the defense will kind of fix itself as time goes on, and we'll at least make the playoffs. Wouldn't be surprised if we still won the AFC West. It's got off to a kind of a slow start. We had to mulligan to 5 a couple times this season. I think we'll be okay though. Tell you what, the Chief subreddit is a toxic cesspool of just garbage, complete garbage. I don't know. I don't know if people just didn't enjoy the Chiefs in the pre Andy Reid era. I certainly didn't. I came along to the Chiefs maybe in their I don't know how long he was here. It's been a few years. I started in the Alex Smith era. But I'm used to the bad times. I was a Buffalo Bills fan before the Chiefs, and so I have become fully used to heartbreak and disappointment in terms of football. Here, I'm just going to pass. I want to play the Cathar Commando on their turn. That's going to give us the opportunity for the best attacks. Didn't hit the land, though. A little unfortunate. Let's keep up our aggression. Okay. I mean, we have to deal with this hobbling zombie. I'm looking to do it with the Lunar Frenzy and then follow up with the Voldaran Stinger. I think that's our best choice here. This is going to chunk in the most damage. Ooh, an O-block. Is he like really going to try and race me? I'm surprised he didn't just try and prevent the damage. Okay, so we got a couple of things going for us here. We have this Lunar Frenzy. The big concern I have with this turn is he didn't like spend any mana. So I'm looking, I think, to just play 2 units and flip it back to day. And if he has a counter spell for one of our units or whatever his idea was here that didn't involve him playing cards, I think it gets reasonably shut down by just playing 2 dudes and passing. I would think this is like a unit though, like a Nebelgast or a 3/3 flying for 3. Uh-huh. I'm a little worried about putting the counter on our best unit, but I think this will be okay. Ooh, bring in that aggression, huh? I don't feel like this is the time for aggression. Thinking about something there. Now, how bad is it if A, this Lunar Frenzy fails, or B, I think this trade is just fine. Like, we're blasting him for a bunch. Let's let the damage happen and see if he wants to play like a Nebelgast or something. If he wants to play Nebelgast, then we'll Lunar Frenzy through it. And then if he just doesn't have any plays, we'll play the Flame-Brand Brigand. Here we go. that might just be lethal. One short. Okay. Still a pretty commanding position, I think we can all agree. Got him. Alright, let's hydrate and move forward. Ugh. Hydration achieved. Let's go. Whew. Got my new chair. I've described it as okay. I don't know if I should have just gotten like another DX racer. Because I was reasonably happy with it. It was just kind of the seat wore out after 5 years, which seems reasonable to me. But I have to take other people's opinion into consideration now, and the wife wasn't super stoked about having all these racing chairs just sitting around the house. I think the aesthetic is decent, but you know, everyone doesn't agree, and so you got more of an office cherry kind of look. But this is a fine keep. It's getting the job done. I just got to get the settings in line. All right, big time curves here today. Guess I want to just play out the. This is the standard Magic Online play where you just spend all your mana, press F4, and get your attack in, and you don't have to push any more buttons. But I guess we have to like potentially use this Lunar Frenzy and stuff. So we'll just let it go. Interesting. Another 3-color deck. He's playing Bant. Hit 2 lands and picked up the plains. He insta-highlighted that Silver Bolt, so I'd say our Cavalier's not going to be long for this world, but... Okay. Interesting, he hits both a Gale Drifter and a Winterthorn Blessing on that. It's like, why are you playing white? What's your game with this? There's a suspect there'd be a double block onto our Cavalier, and we could take this down with the Lunar Frenzy. Now, if he wants to be like using the Silver Bolts, we get a pretty good turn. If his play is like Flashback Gale Drifter, then by all means. I feel pretty good about that. Makes the play with 2 mana back. This would pretty much represent a Flare of Faith. I think I feel pretty decent about just saying you can't block and then following up with Voldaren Stinger. Can't tell if that tapped my mana right. Okay. Seems good, right? Oop. Kitty taking a dump. Interesting. And we pick up the Moonrager Slash because it's like I want to do can't block and then play the Search Party Captain. I mean, I think this is okay. Surprised he was more worried about the 3/3 than the Harrier. So this kind of feels like it's going to be a Nebelgast, but Cathar Commando is fine. Thermo Alchemist is good here. We're getting real close to just burning them out. So we'll add the Vandal. We're going to add the Thermo Alchemist. That's going to turn it back to day. So we'll get a point in with the Vandal. See how we go from there. Should be pretty tough for Bant to deal with the Thermo Alchemist, so feeling pretty good about this one. Still feels like he has like a burn spell. We can just take this damage. It's not too threatening. We'll get in an attack with a single stinger. Well, I think this is probably just a good all attack. Right? We have Menace on the Brimstone Vandal. I'm not really worried about a combat trick at this point. And I figure if he wants to say like if he like blocks a stinger and a stinger, then we could just kind of kill him. But if he lets one stinger through, then we can pump and get the damages in. Still feels like his game here is a Flare of Faith. We should have pumped onto the Whale Drifter. That was a bit sloppy, but I think we're okay. Got him. All right, round 3 battle. Yeah, exciting stuff. I'm thinking of I don't know how Magic Online does it. I worry about it. Like I've always had a trouble with the release day and having servers stay up. Maybe that's just because I played too much WoW in my life, and Hearthstone had a problem to a degree. Like right when a set would come out, like the first hour and a half, it would really bog down. But considering taking the day off work for the release of Crimson Vow and then just streaming for a large portion of the day, we'll see. I haven't fully decided. I don't know. I didn't have any trouble with the release of this set, whatever this is, Midnight Vow. I don't even know at this point, but I didn't get to start playing like right in the morning, and so they may have had the issues right at the start with people cracking packs, and then it was fine. But I didn't get to start to play until the evening. At any rate, with this hand, it really sucks not having a 2, but I think it's probably too good to pass up. So I'm going to hang on to this one. Just like we're already at such a disadvantage being on the draw that not having a 1 or a 2 is really kind of painful for these, but we immediately drew the stinger because that's what pros do. Okay. Hard shutdown by the Timberland Guide. What do you highlight my cards for? Bereaved Survivor, you got it. So we can't quite attack. We don't want to be killing off. We have to spend the mana to kill the Timberland Guide, then he'll just bring it right back with the Bereaved Survivor. I think we have some time, though. I think we can get the Painter down. And then ideally, just pass our next turn and then take down the Survivor with a Nightfall and Moonrager Slash. Then we might get a tap in as well. So I think that would be okay. Sure. Yeah, seems good to me. The only downside here is if they have something like a Flare of Faith. Bringing that heat, huh? Okay. Thinking on it hard. This is a Moonrager, or a duel for dominance. Okay. Perfect. Now the only downside here is we don't have any spells. Little unfortunate. Got one. I don't think we're going to be capable of really chaining big plays onto the Spellrune Howler, but he's a pretty meaty combatant here, though. He's kind of tough to deal with. That's what all the ladies put on their Tinder profiles these days. I'm searching for a meaty combatant. Please swipe right if meaty combatant. Okay. Has to be scary, right? This isn't a particularly good Stolen Vitality, but it takes this big boy off of the board. We're health short of actually surviving this, and so not really amped about it, but if it gets some kind of play out of him, it's pretty good. Yeah, that's fine. How he feels about the double block on this thing. I mean, we're less health than our opponent, but it feels like we're winning the race here. Okay. Gonna have a second card to flip it today. Join the dance, sure. All the cards, Jesus. No, we don't have much going for us other than having a Coven. I think that's fine. I think we're good to like get in with the Candlegrove Witch. I want to play both the Gavany Dawnguard and the Voldaren Stinger. We have a lot of good blocks on this board. And then maybe we could do some taking over from there. We do have like the Fangblade Brigand to potentially Nightfall and give all of our team a giant boost, but we don't really have the mana to be finagling those kind of plays. But if he doesn't do anything except like, if he attacks with Tireless Hauler and kills off our party captain this turn, that's fine. If he just plays Join the Dance and passes, that would be great. I mean, I think we're starting to be okay here. want to be able to tap something now. I think we're just in with the Cavalier. It's a little challenging to play 2 spells this turn. But I think that's okay, and especially if we draw. Oh fuck! There's. Ugh. Another wolf or werewolf you control fights something you don't. Okay. You're a little slow, Rem. You're a little slow. So, I mean, I think we have to just send it back to Day. We don't have a lot of options in this. We can't have Tovalar just tapping all of our stuff, or killing off all of our stuff. So let's play Rem. We can attack with 2 flyers this turn. Flyer, flyer. Add the Lambolt Harrier. What is this? Okay, so he doesn't do anything on the Day side. So close to being able to get a lethal in the air. Can we actually put the counter on our Spellgreen Painter? I don't think so. We'll just put it on Rem. Wow. But you gotta be doing something. I was really surprised he didn't make it all in attack there. Like doing something with Tovalar. Makes sense, I guess. Who did he pick? Some card way out here on the right. So we can Stolen Vitality through this. Right? I have. Yeah, he's targeting some 2/2 wolf. Doesn't have the mana to do it again. Okay. Lose the fight. Alrighty, get ourselves into combat now. We'll hit with Candlegrove Rich and Rem. That's 8. Oh, he did have the mana. Where did his other mana come from? He's only got 7. Oh, the Dawnheart Rejuvenator. Okay, sure. Okay, well, the Brimstone Vandal will deal more damage, right? It's gonna immediately deal 1. You probably have to stop targeting Rem. Well, what happens if like he just doesn't play any cards? It just doesn't feel that safe anymore. Okay, interesting. So he doesn't send it back to night. So Tovalar is going to stay on the front side. Join the dance is fine. Okay. I mean, still surprised he hasn't been making any like all-in attacks here. He has a ton of stats on the board. Okay. So next, come in with Rim. I'm gonna play my 2 spells this turn. I want to play the Thermo Alchemist. I want to play the Candlegrove Witch. And we've got a tap on his turn. Decent chance he sends it back to Night, you know, whether he wants to or not. If he just draws a land, or if he draws something like a Flare of Faith, then probably going to come right back to us. You can attack with Candlegrove Witch. Then we'll we'll figure out the blocks on everything else if that's what this comes down to. You know, he's counting all of the creatures. what can I do? Is it, do you want to hang out, girl? He says, what can I do? Hope he doesn't do it. So I say we're gonna go back tonight, but this is just incredibly good for us, I think. So he can like double fight this turn, right? He could do it last time. I think we're just looking to put the counter on the Sunrise Cavalier now. He needs to kill Rem. He needs to kill our Candlegrove Witch. So where does that leave us? Our attacks are just not good, right? Let's say we tap the Packmaster, attack with everything. He blocks everything. Well, he has to put some amount. He has to put 5 in front of our Sunrise Cavalier to not take any damage. That's pretty easy to do. And then he's just going to have good blocks everywhere else. I think it's fine. Let's just try and win this game with our Thermo Alchemist and our Brimstone Vandal. You fought it. Okay, so barring any shenanigans this turn, we'll just kill him with the Thermo Alchemist, right? He needs to duel for dominance or something to kill the Alchemist. That's that's who he's highlighting now. He says, "Oh snap, oh snap, that guy's a problem." But he needs the cards to be in hand. He can't do it with Tovolar because he's on the front side. Okay. Which targeting? No, that's an answer. We do have this Cathar Commando on the board that we may be able to do something with, but I'm looking to just win the game with Brimstone Vandal now. I guess. Yeah, he's gonna struggle with that. If he hasn't played any cards, so it'll just cut back to our turn. He doesn't have any. Shouldn't have any way to deal with the Vandal. Then we can just send it back and do the point of damage. Abandon the post. Do we ever win the game with this? It just seems ultra greedy. I think we got him. He gave us that GG emote, so maybe this will be enough. Oh, we thinking about it? Are we trying to find a way out of this, or did we just close out the game? All right. Boom. GG. All right, feeling good. A little more successful than I expected this deck to be, but I know this is going to be about a 3-winner. I guess that's where we got ourselves. We just got ourselves to 3 wins, right? Okay, that's going to be a keep. Opponent took the old mulligan to 6. See if we make it through this one. I'm still on the old Robitussin for this run. Feel much better than the previous day. I don't think I really needed it today, but just wanted to play it safe. Knock it out while the getting's good. So if we misplay, it's completely the Tussin. Not anything that we've done ourselves. Kind of cool if we got the trade here. But people usually don't let you do that. And we can make the big time tempo plays if he just doesn't do anything here. That's scary. I'll take it. Not sure what that means. Gotcha. I see. I get it now. I get it. Alright, well, we can't get a Coven, so we just have to come in and attack. I'm fine with this trade. He just wants to replay a unit for the turn. I think that's okay. Or for his turn, if he just replays it as the 2/2 Death Touch, it's fine. We're getting a bigger board than them. We picked up the Homestead Courage for the big plays if they don't do anything. Like if the if he doesn't play a card this turn, we can make the big combo play with the double Homestead Courage plus abandon the post. Okay, interesting. Guess he's just keeping it from going to night, which makes sense. Let's do that aggressive thing everyone's talking about, though. Make their blocks terrible. Okay. If we draw a land, we're lethal with the Abandon the Post. We can play it twice. Oh, we're close. Oh, you can tap something as well. That's moderately annoying. I forgot about that aspect of it. I'd say it's still certainly not what he would like, but can prevent 3 damage here. Glad we didn't plan on going all in. All right, so I mean, the play from the known cards we have would just be him playing the covert cut purse, in which case would abandon the post, the digraph horde, and the cut purse and try to attack with everything. He's going to tap something, and we still get a kill. Don't see how this is too much different. He's going to get a tap on 1, and then we're still lethal. But we're a little short of lethal. So this way, at least it makes him block with his Scab Wrangler. So he's going to have to tap something and then block with the Scab Wrangler, take 3, loses a good unit, and then we can follow up with a Voldaren Stinger. Yep. He needs a lot of stuff to get himself out of this one. I mean, he can, like, Rite of Oblivion, our Lambeau Terrier. That should be, like, the new scary unit, and that it can make his units not be able to block. But it's tough to have enough mana to deal with all this stuff. Alright, that's not enough. That unit is tapped. Needed to actually take our Stinger there. Got him. Four wins. We did it. Whoop whoop. Oof. So how's the weather out there? I think we had a thing out here in Kansas City called a frost warning, which means it's almost freezing, and then it shot up to 65. So that's the way our days go. You put on your hoodie in the morning because it's cold as balls, and then in the afternoon you're just sweating your balls off. Just cold balls, hot balls, sweaty balls. happens all the time. But all right, reasonable enough start here. Sucks that we're on the draw, but we do have some of our higher powered cards here. Okay. Sure. Alright, well, I'm just looking to get the Cathar Commando down on his turn, and then maybe we'll get a big attack with Rem. It's like I'm almost okay with throwing the Cathar Commando in front of this Scab, but not anymore. It's just don't want him drawing cards. Gotta get this damage in while the getting's good. This is a never block. But we've probably at least shut down his attacking for a while. So if we can get Rim, continue to have Rim going, We have the Candlegrove Witch to maybe do some flying damage. The problem is he's just got to make a 4/4. We can't really attack into it. Interesting. These cards. Novice Occultist. Still bringing some of that heat, huh? Okay, well, the attack with our Cathar Commando is just not that good. Do we want to like Moonrager slash anything? I think we're gonna get like a good tempo Moonrager slash. So I'm looking to just add the Brigand here. Should be enough to shut down some of his attacking. We can give ourselves Covens with the Fangblade Brigand. It'll take a few turns from now. I mean, we don't have our Candlegrove Witch on the board anyways, but we can easily make him a 4/4 and have the 2/3/4 for the flying attacks. Okay. I mean, I think this is the point where we're ready to start getting in. He's kind of log jammed on mana, and we need to start winning. So I'm just curious if we can get, like, say we attack with everything. If we can get something, ooh, that is greedy. Cannot imagine he thinks he's the aggro in this space. I guess we're at 8. We are kind of low. Makes the 3/4 scab. Okay. Put the scab on commando. We can Lunar Frenzy for 1. And then Candlegrove Witch. We'll look to get the burn kill with the Moonrager Slash. We're not going to have time to try and do a big X damage burst with the Lunar Frenzy. Okay, give me one of them mountains. Candlegrove Witch. So, assuming that he just like taps out for a dude that doesn't fly next turn, we can give Fangblade Brigand the +1 attack. That'll make him a 4. We'll have the 4 flying damage in Rim and Candlegrove Witch. And then our Moonrager Slash will deal 4 damage because of Rim. And that should be enough for a lethal. So we're just hoping he like taps out for Digraph Horde or something along those lines. Anything that doesn't involve a flyer. Not a removal spell. And tap out. Not a big ask, I don't think. Not a big ask. But he has to play something, or our board gets really scary. If we have a flipped Brigand and we just give our team +2/0, yeah, that's pretty scary for him. You can do it. You can tap out for Digraph Horde. He's thinking about it, using all them toms. Okay, that seems positive. He's just digging for an answer, looking for a high roll on the loot. Okay. Interesting. If he doesn't play another land, the only card we would have to worry about is that 1 mana bounce spell, which I won't play around. Okay. All right, no blocks. All right, that's auto passing. Double check on this. If a spell would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent that opponent controls, it deals that much damage +1. Okay. 4. Boom. Pretty sure that's how it worked. After in the previous video, oh, I don't think I made it in the video. I was playing a different one where it was brutal. I wanted it to make it to a video, but it was not that interesting of a run otherwise. But I had a Simic deck and I put the thing that makes a frog, copy something that makes it a frog, and so I was like, all right, well I'm gonna copy my opponent's Smoldering Egg because I can pretty reasonably play 7 mana worth of spells. Like the flashback on the frog spells 5 of it. You just need 1 more card after that, and so it was like I spent all the mana and did everything, and then it got the 7 counters on it, and then it was just like the counters go away and nothing happens, and it's like, what the fuck? So it's like, oh yeah, this doesn't have a transform, it doesn't have a flip. I guess that makes sense because it's the frog token. So it's like, fuck, all right. And so then it was like I really like developed the board, and I got it to where we were gonna have like an all-in lethal right before our opponent could kill us, and like they tapped out for it. Everything was aligning perfectly, but then I forgot that token has defender. And so it was like I clicked through everything too fast, and I didn't get to attack with the token, and I lost the game with our opponent at 1. And it was a real bust moment in all of, all of those sequences. But that one didn't make it. The draft wasn't that interesting. The games weren't that interesting outside of my misplays, and you just have to get the voice version of it. Okay, pre-final battle. Opponent has been found. What do we got? I guess that's a serviceable hand. That's all we ask for, right? Serviceable. Not good, not great. Average. Leading with the mountain. All right. Well, if he had played a Voldaren Stinger, I would have led with the Candlegrove Witch. With the no play, we can do the Cathar Commando, and now we should be in a pretty good spot to get the Sunrise Cavalier going. Big old burst of damage. Okay. Sure. Alright, well, a little worried. If we're playing against just like the black-red control deck, we don't have tons of ways to be gaining card advantage, but let's see. We'll see if we can't get a land for this Tavern Ruffian and start doing cool stuff. On. It's not like a premier target. I was really hoping to be able to save these Moondrager Slashes to go face with. Like, ideally that turn we would have just been putting a Tavern Ruffian on the board, but you can't just like wait forever on these things. The Crasher is interesting. All right. Had this problem before. you have like a million removal spells in the Festival Crasher stack. What you doing, boss? You gonna play a removal spell on the old Candlegrove? Let's see what he does. I'm tempted to see. Curious. It's slightly dangerous. If he has a Neonate's Rush, then we run into a real problem with that. But I think there is a world where he just doesn't block if the Festival Crashers is only unit. Okay. Sure. Interesting. It's like I really want our Ruffian to flip, but we don't get too much value out of it flipping right now. So let's play this a little slow. Seems like he's out of stuff to do. Sure, I mean I'll trade Candlegrove Witch for this, I guess. But let's see. It suddenly seems like if we stall this game out a little bit longer, we should be in an okay space. Like I'm kind of thinking if we get like 6 in twice with the Ruffian, then we can kill with a Moonrager Slash, and that would be cool. That would be the bee's knees. May not even have to get too clever about it. Apparently not. Well, alrighty then. That was a game. I thought I was gonna have to like 6-6-3 and then say no, it's done. It's done. It's over. Okay, so we get 2 shots at the final battle. Pretty feeling good. Feeling good. So what have we got here? A 2-3-4 curve on the play with the Lunar Frenzy. That's going to do it for me. I am on board with that. Gonna search up a mountain with this Evolving Wilds. It could, at this stage, the only thing we would need double white for would be either, I was going to say, Gavany Dawnguard, which we just immediately drew, or if we want to play 2 Homestead Courages in the same turn. And given that we already have the Fangblade Brigand in hand, it kind of felt like, well, if we draw another mountain, we can at least activate him twice. And Dennick. Got a high-powered collection of cards, my man. This attack's always scary. Let's see how he takes it. Straight to the face is how he takes it. So I'm curious if he just flips a farmhand here. I'm not opposed to just sending Lunar Frenzy into the farmhand if that's his play. That helps us catch up quite a bit on this board. That thing is a pain in the ass. Got all the life links over here. Okay, seems like we'll get it. Let me Exo First Strike Trample. Okay. Let me double check on this before we get too far along. It's also going to flip our Spellrune Painter. He didn't play any cards this turn. It's pretty big for us. So, what are we going to do here? Do we attack with the Trapper to make our party captain cheaper? Like, we don't get any plays out of that. But, yeah, I think he stays back. Because if we do, we can draw land and then tap on his turn. Not draw the land. Still looking decent. It would have been huge if we drew the land and then we got to tap his Dennick. He just plays like a Gale Drifter or something. So far ahead if we'd picked up that land. Okay. Alright, so how do we feel about this? I think we can continue to just attack with the Spellrune Howler. And then if he blocks, we can get a big Lunar Frenzy. I don't think we're just gonna win the game with a Lunar Frenzy here. But if we get both Dennick and the Silversmith out of the Spellrune Howler, that's gonna be huge. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is a little bit short. Okay, that feels really good. So now we can say, like, play Cathar Commando on his turn. We can tap Dennick. He's scary because he has lifelink. I think our opponent is kind of in the space now to where they're taxed, like, they have to pay the 2 mana tax, right, for the Gavany Trapper. So there is a world where we may want to, say, tap the Trapper on his turn, and then tap Dennick on our turn. Fucking Teferi. Choose 1 artifact, up to 1 creature, 1 land. Untap the artifact, creature, and land, and gain 2. Okay, well, let's see what he does. It's a lot of text on Teferi. This -2. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of your hand on the rest on the bottom. Okay. And then the emblem will just assume isn't going to happen. Oh no, we didn't tap anything. Fuck. Fuck. That's bad. I didn't think he could target our stuff with Teferi. That was bad. Okay, let's see what he does. I think I really want to go to Knight here. You're doing Teferi stuff, that's fine. Then he's going to get to tap our tapper. It's going to have to be fine. Oh, this is bad. Could have... We'd be... Because now we can't tap anything on his turn. This is fucking brutal. We still have like a big combo turn with this Spellrune Howler. If he lets us attack with it next turn, that's going to be kind of our saving grace here. So we can Moonrager Slash and Lunar Frenzy for shitload of damage. Oh man, I can't believe we didn't use our tapper though. It's fucking Teferi. Okay.
Don't worry, it's only a little mischief.
Wow. Okay, guy. Okay. So do we have to like Lunar Frenzy now? I think so. We're never recovering if we don't. F. Be so far ahead. So far ahead. Now, because like now he can just tap our Candlegrove Witch on our turn. That one Teferi activation where we overclicked too fast sent that one fucking to oblivion. I don't think we were guaranteed to win that one, but I think we had a realistic chance against with our pile of Boros against the guy with the Teferi Denic Grafted Identity deck. We should have totally been in that one. Maybe we could have gone for it a turn earlier with the Painter, but damn. It's unfortunate. You had to be getting those wins like that if you want to take these Garbo decks to the 7 wins against the supreme high roll of blue-white cards. Damn. Literally a Planeswalker, the best blue rare in the set, and the Disturb rare. Insanity. All right. Well, I think that's. I'm trying to think. Like, I played a bit of Constructed. Nobody plays Teferi. I think I may have encountered Teferi one time throughout the course of however many drafts I've done, like 80 or so now. Now we've got to look at hands like this. I don't think we can keep this. I think the Abandon the Post Lunar Frenzy combo are just a little bit too slow. Let's send that one away. We've been a little too greedy. Okay, we can keep this though. I think we'll get rid of the Stolen Vitality. We getting Duder. Alright, well I'll go for the planes this time. I don't feel like we got like hard punished in that previous game, but that was a little unfortunate the way those things sequenced themselves. Okay. So all the land. Bench of the Drowned, Shipwreck Sifters. Okay. So are we willing to trade a Cathar Commando for an Eccentric Farmer? I don't think I'm excited about that. So I think I'm just going to move into Rem. Maybe it's okay. Clear out his board. This is I can imagine there being a non-zero number of enchantments coming out of a deck like this. But it does help us get in with attacks with like the Brimstone Vandal if we keep his dudes off the board. All right, but we're counting on these few cards to do a lot of work. He's got 6 cards in hand and a Shadow Beast sighting in the graveyard. So it's like we gotta extract the maximum out of our bros here. But we have a big like surprise burn hand between the Moonrager / Lunar Frenzy. There's a chance we can just get him. Let's just play here like a second Shadow Beast sighting. He's special tapping his mana. He wanted to keep the green back. Okay. Did we just win? Brimstone Vandal's going to take him to 8. We can Moonrager Slash to take him to 4, right? This will take him to 8. The Moonrager Slash will hit for 4, and then we have the Lunar Frenzy for next turn. So if he taps out for something that doesn't matter, we can win the game. Oh, boys. Oh, boys. Get ready. Oh, my goodness. Getting close. Getting close. What's that? Craftkeeper? We can deal with Craftkeeper. He really doesn't have a blue mana to cast it anyways, but we can trample through it. Something irrelevant. Yeah, there we go. There's our something irrelevant. All right, boys. All right. Let's get ourselves that 7 wins. Okay. No blocks. One and done. This is so greedy. Like, we're really close to just killing him without any cards. I mean, maybe that's the way he's looking at this, is that he just has to win now. I'm going to say, he's got to keep 1 blocker black for this Brimstone Vandal. Nope. It says slam it. Yeah, Adam. Nice. Nice little trophy win. First event of the November season. Taking it down with the trophy. Feels pretty good. So let's take a moment. We'll go and we'll get this pulled up on the untapped.gg. Take a look at the deck a little bit more. What is this thing? This is a Boros card. We're playing Boros. Create a red 3/2 red-white. Creatures you control get 1/0 and indestructible and haste. Deals 3 to anything, gain 3. Sacrifice permanent, draw 2 cards. I'd play it in limited, I guess. Alright, let's get this pulled up though. Okay, so yeah, and so I mean, this isn't how I typically like to land in Boros. I mean, I don't really like landing in Boros whatsoever, but this is the way it happens, right? We come out here, we start drafting what looks to be a blue-white deck. The red cards are kind of showing up. The red appears to be open, and then the blue just does not. And so if you don't remember, we started off with like Organ Hoarder and a blue card, and then we picked up a couple of incidental bait hook anglers. We were looking to piece together this blue-white deck, and then it was like we got like an 8th pick Moonlight Lightning Bolt. And then the good filler cards came through at the end. And so the way I typically talk about jumping into red and getting into red like this is you're going to take a look at your opening pack and you're going to be looking for like Festival Crashers or Stolen Vitalities. There may have been a Stolen Vitality in this one, but like cards that are realistically able to wheel, and you're just kind of like keeping it in the back of your head is like, okay, maybe I'm going to draft red today. And then if those cards wheel, then you're not missing out on anything really. I think we saw like one pack in here as to where I like to talk about in terms of red, where you're willing to kind of like dip your toes in the water. It'll be like a pick 6 or so where you're picking like a super high valued red card over like a bait hook angler. And so at the end of the day, if you do end up in the red deck, you've got this really high powerful card. And then if you still landed in blue-white or blue-black or whatever, then you only missed out on a bait hook angler. And so I think you're able to pretty reasonably do that in this format. What we tend to see is as we get to, the deck construction, you always have like, a bare minimum of 25 playables. And so I think a lot of the times you need to just be taking these high valued picks and seeing if they play out. But so as far as this deck is concerned, there's typically like 2 decks that you'll see in Boros. You're going to see the Festival Crashers deck, where you're using Festival Crashers and Spellrune Painter. You're going to load them up with spells via Homestead Courage, and then you're going to just close out the game with either something like Lunar Frenzy, Stolen Vitality, or with Abandon the Post. And so you'll have this turn to where you say play Homestead Courage, Abandon the Post. So you play 3 spells, gives your Festival Crashers like +8 attack, and your opponent likely can't block. And so you're looking to close out the game that way. We just didn't get that to assemble here today. The other kind of thing you're looking at with Boros is you're hoping to see, like as we kind of talked about, you'll want to see like a your opening pack. You want to see like a Festival Crashers that you can get pick 9. That's how we kind of like to get the Boros cards as well. Like we'll say like here in pack 2, where maybe it was pack 2 pick 2, where you're having the Sunrise Cavalier. Ideally, you would not take the Sunrise Cavalier here. You would have a pack that was, pretty well loaded up, and we would be able to take, say, like the Brimstone Vandal, and then wheel the Sunrise Cavalier because no one's playing Boros. It is pretty risky. You are most certainly going to have drafts that fall flat because you're planning on this Cavalier to table, and it does not. But as we looked at this pack, I just did not think it was very realistic that this would table. People will come in and pick these because they're uncommon, and this pack is pretty weak. If you aren't playing zombies or some kind of there's good blue-black cards in here. There's Gavany Trapper, but outside of that, there's not too much exciting, right? The Disturb guy will take Morning Patrol. The Coven guy will take Gavany Trapper. Someone is happy about all of these blue-black cards, but it's very likely that somebody's just going to come in here and just snatch up these uncommons. And that's why I actually took the Cavalier here. But that's what you're hopefully able to do to get into the good Boros decks is you'll get, like a pick 7 Rim, or you'll open up those Sunrise Cavaliers or Sacred Fires, and they just come along super late, and you're able to piece together this really high value deck because the really strong gold cards are tabling. Otherwise, you're just looking to have the high-powered white uncommons. That's the way we typically end up in Boros. Is we start with Dawn Guards, we start with Eccentric Farmhand, whatever the white one is that gets the lifelink, or the Dualcraft Trainers and the like. You have some of those, and then you're trying to be in blue-white, but then the blue cards don't show up, so you end up in Boros. That's how we typically land here. But this was a little bit different, though. This is a little bit odd. We still found ourselves in a pretty good place with this kind of really aggressive burn deck style Boros deck, but I really thought we weren't going to take this to 7. I thought this was going to be about a 3 to 4 winner before things kind of fell flat. And so, yeah, the deck itself I don't think is too interesting, but the draft I thought was pretty good. I thought we navigated this draft quite well. This first pick, Organ Hoarder, I think that's pretty spot on. Not a lot of contestation, not a lot of conflict here with this Organ Hoarder pick. Pick 2. I think this was fine as well. Just from a strictly power level standpoint, the Bereaved Survivor could be a little bit stronger than Gale Drifter, but starting off with a blue card and a mill card, happy enough to lean into the Gale Drifter here. Not a bad pack there. As we kind of talked about in the notes there is a Stolen Vitality here, which you kind of want to consider as a card to table. I think that one did. Pick 10, yeah, we got the Stolen Vitality. So pack 2, Gavany Dawnguard, one of the kind of premier white uncommons. Extremely good, happy to snatch it up. Pick 4, this is where we start to just get into the fillery kind of cards. This is what I was kind of talking about, is if if there was a gold card, if there was let's just say, for instance, the white-black gold card. I would be really incentivized to just kind of take it over the bait hook angler and see how things go. Maybe I wouldn't want to take the white-black one here, but if there was, say, the blue-black one, or a good blue-red uncommon or something, it's just the bait hook angler's almost always going to make the cut, and you're going to be reasonably happy to have it. But these are the kind of spaces as to where I think you're wanting to take risks and take something really high valued that you may not play, as opposed to something fairly whelming that will make the cut, but you're not really excited about. But there wasn't anything to really challenge the bait hook angler. We find a second one here, same deal. None of these cards are particularly exciting. If we saw, I think if we saw that white-black uncommon here, I would definitely snatch it up. Flesh Taker, whatever the white-black one is, or if it was the white-black removal spell. We've only dipped our toes into white with the Gavany Dawnguard, but the bait hook angler is just not super exciting. Here, Eaten Alive, super late, happy enough to take it. We're not married to white at this point. We only have one white card. Evolving Wilds is fine. We're looking to perhaps splash something. That's an easy way to do it. And then the Moonrager Slash. This is the big indicator that red is actually open. And we aren't missing out on anything to take this, right? The Hobbling Zombie could be fine in blue-black. We would be assembling a reasonable blue-black deck here without it. But we are knowing that, we get the, Vandal at 9, Stolen Vitality at 10. And if we are looking to just draft blue-black, I guess these cards would have been kind of okay. There would have been like a Novice Occultist, which is fair, at pick 10. You would have had an Arrogant Outlaw or a Rotten Reunion. Nothing exciting. Crawl from the Cellar was super late at pick 11, but it just feels like so much better that we're it's kind of like locked into the red cards here. I think we got a real payoff in it. The Thormo Alchemist is fine. It's one of the premier red cards. And then the Cavalier. We talked about the Cavalier quite a bit in the draft. This was just a pack where I would love it if this was a pack high-powered enough to where we could take Brimstone Vandal and wheel the Sunrise Cavalier. Just don't think this is a collection of cards we'd be able to do it with. But at that point, I feel like we're pretty well locked into Boros. I am curious, though, if we did, stick with those blue-black cards in pack 1. Just say we didn't draft anything red. We went into blue-black. What would we have found? It would have been Eaten Alive. In pick 2, would have probably taken Digraph Horde, hoping to table the Startle. Pick 3, nothing particularly interesting. We'd be stuck with No Way Out. In pick 4, we would have to take Geist Wave. And in pick 5, have to be a No Way Out. Yeah, these blue-black cards aren't that exciting. I guess we did have a Evolving Wild, so we could look to take the Rite of Oblivion. And then nothing. And then continue on with the nothing. I guess we aren't that exciting about picking up Tavern Ruffians, but we did end up playing it today. But no, I think we were in the right place in that pack, and I think we got really paid off in pack 3. What was it? The Spellring Painter is easy. The Brigand is easy. The Rem at pick 3. Lunar Frenzy at 4. That was a weak pack with the Homestead Courage. Lunar Frenzy at 6. And then Moonrager Slash at 7. Just a lot of payoff for actually being in red here. So yeah, nice little draft, a little fun. I had a good time with that one. So let's see. I think we got a handful of packs to click on. I think we're down to just needing 2 cards to finish off the set. Oh man, we can open 10. Yeah, so we're at 166 of 168. Let's see. Let's see if we get any of those mythics. Got the Poppet Stitcher. All right, we're getting close. We're getting close. Maybe we'll do it today. I'll just go craft it if that's what it comes down to. And we can say that we have completed our collection of Innistrad. Let's see. 2 packs to go. Oh man, is it gonna do it? Are we gonna have to craft it? Nope, got it. We're done. 100% C's. Whoop whoop. Good stuff. What have we got here? Gems. I'm not sure how many gems it gives you for opening mythics. I'm sure it's more than 20, but anyways. So yeah, that's going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the draft. You learned how to Boros a little bit better. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.